Did you know not changing your air filter could cost you thousands of dollars when selling your home? Today, we're going to talk about the 5 most common mistakes we see sellers make when they're preparing to take their house to market. And if you stick with us till the end, we've got a bonus item that you won't get anywhere else than this channel right here. We're excited to share this one with you. Let's get into it. Okay, today we're going to have a shorter video talking about the 5 mistakes we see sellers make most commonly when they're preparing their house for sale. And we see this as we're serving in our market. We see it when we're on listing appointments, or when sellers have attempted to sell on their own or on a different platform. And they say, you know what, we really need a professional. And they've seen value in certain things that actually was causing them a problem and holding them back. So let's jump right into it. The first thing you've got to do when you're considering selling is actually getting your house prepared for market. Now, you might be like, yeah, Alex, duh. We got to prepare our house for market. But no, really, you've heard of the term nose blind, right? When you live in it, you smell it, you see it every day. We can get nose blind to smells in our house and feels in our house. And we get nose blind or eye blind to living in a house. So if you're selling a house that you live in, you've really got to take yourself out of it, kind of go out, start out fresh, kind of not think about your time in the house as it being your home, but come at it and approach it like a buyer's going to for the very first time and show up. And the showing starts all the way out at the mailbox. So start with looking at the mailbox. If you've got a number that's crooked, that's where one of those things can plug in, that is like, or a buyer is like, I'm not really sure, like that the number's crooked. They're not really ready, or the grass is too high, or that was really nice landscaping 8 years ago. And now, it looks like Field of Dreams, right? It feels like if you build it, they will come, right? And so, you don't want the ghosts coming through the grass into the house. That's not the right impression that we're going for here. So make sure you're going through on all the little things. One thing we see often, if you have pets in the house, is you'll see where the pets have rubbed up against the door frames and have a little rub mark and maybe a little bit of hair on each of the door frames. And really going that far in that detailed, give it a fresh look, because that can really make a big difference. So a little bonus thing that I share with my buyers and sellers is we check the air filters. Now, we said that in the very beginning, so we're going to tell you right here, checking the air filters can cost you thousands of dollars. When we go through houses, we'll pop the registers open and go see how clean the air filter is. And also behind it, we'll look behind that, look at the vents, and we'll go through and look behind, are they cleaning it? And man, I'm going to tell you something. When we see a new air filter that's less than 30 days old, the vent is clean, and behind the filter is clean, that seller has taken excellent care of the house and is worth more than other houses in the market, because they've taken that good of care of the property. So that's a situation where an air filter that costs just a few dollars can really have a huge impact on this. If it goes the other way and it's super dirty and it's caked up and the filter is 3 years old because it's got a date on the top, that they haven't, and that air conditioner and heater has been really struggling for several years by not having good regular maintenance of being, the filter cleaned as well as being serviced. So, it might be a bigger issue. Doesn't mean it's going to be, but often that's one of the things that we find that to share with sellers as a prep or as an advantage to our buyers who are looking in the market. Next, price. Now, price is a priority, and it's a key point to be talking about when you're considering how much time you have, how much you want to make on this house, and consider that, because one mistake we see most often is we see sellers go, well, we're going to price it here, and if someone likes it, they can make an offer. Well, I'm going to tell you something. In this day and age, in 2024, that does not happen. That is not the right strategy. And actually, it's keeping people away from your house. Everyone, when you're out there, right, and you're talking to people and you go, hey, how's it going? And what's the answer? Yeah, busy, right? We've gotten addicted to being busy in the community and in the world. And so when people are busy, they don't have time for that. If it's overpriced, they're like, you know what? I don't want to waste my time with that one. Someone else can wait, or I'll wait till they get right on price. So that's a mistake that we see sellers make most often, is that, well, they just don't do it. So if you're way overpriced, they're going to skip right through. They're going to wait till they find the next one that fits closest to their needs and seems like a value, right? No one wants to be taken advantage of stuff. And so one of the things that you've got to do is price it right, price it at the market, but also take into consideration the time. And we're going to share in one of our other ones here later also where you need to prioritize in the market, your placement in the market. Okay, our next thing that we see sellers make a mistake on is negotiating. Now, actually, they love to negotiate. We love to negotiate. We're professional negotiators. However, they're negotiating in the wrong place. Some sellers love to negotiate around showing times and when showings are being offered. Now, we're shooting this in 2024, and in our market, our average lead time of knowing that a showing wants to be set up, even on the high end and luxury markets, is only about 3 hours. And we find sellers often wanting to negotiate around where and when a showing is going to happen, when they're calling to schedule it. And that's a huge mistake. Now, I am saying we work and guide our sellers often about setting up time frames of when they want it available or certain days so they can accommodate with their family and make a priority around when they're available. So we have a client right now who's put a limit on the nighttime, right? They won't show anything after about 7 o'clock at night. And that's a great strategy because ultimately they have to know for their family's wellness that they're done. There won't be any other showings there. And we can work with that as a stated timeline. But it doesn't work to negotiate around sellers and with buyers around a time that's convenient for everyone and the matching up schedules. When you go to market, you need to be prepared that your house is going to be retail space, and you got to be prepared for those walk-ins because that is part of it. Now, it doesn't mean that you allow every single showing. There are, impulsive things that happen, but if you miss it, it's very, very difficult to get them back, and they may be on to the next or maybe buy one of the other ones that they were able to schedule in that. Just the other day, I was working on a showing, 3 showings for a client, and it took me over 2 hours because I was having to negotiate the schedule, my own schedule, plus the client's schedule, plus 3 different sellers who were negotiating and moving their times around. And they didn't realize that, right? They were thinking it's just my house and my one showing at this one time. And they didn't come from the context of, wow, there's a buyer that may have an order and a path or even a priority. You may be their number one choice that they want to see first and maybe offer on, but when you're moving it around, you may miss out on that opportunity and move down in the buyer's priority list. So pretty good one to share there. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Another little bonus tip that we want to share with you is when you get these showings, you can have a huge advantage by having your house set, staged, and ready. Turn the lights on, leave a little music on, maybe even drop a note. Thanks for, our showing today. Even a little bit of a service. We're really sharing that a lot lately with some of our other videos that have a service out. Have 4 water bottles and an ice bucket on the countertop and say, hey, please enjoy. Just a little bit of personalization to let people know. That really makes a big difference. It's welcoming and it's hospitable. The other is like you're walking into a haunted house and it's super scary. You're scared, the scream mask is going to jump out from behind one of the curtains and be like, gotcha, like you don't want that. And I've seen that change the whole image when we're showing houses, when it's dark and locked up and there's dogs barking and, it just can really affect the tone and the feeling and the mindset of what's going on in the house. We actually tell our clients that having your house staged, lit, and with a little bit of service knocks out 8 out of the other 10 they may be looking at. Gives you in the top 2, in the top 20%, you're one of 2 that's really set, staged, ready, present. And that is a huge advantage over the competition. Okay, next, a mistake that we see sellers make is not really thoroughly investigating the marketing that can be done in 2024, right? There's so much marketing that can be done, and some of it really, really works, and some of it really doesn't. So investigating when you're hiring a professional, what kind of marketing are you going to do? It will shock you to hear that there are agents out there still using point and shoot digital cameras or even their camera phones to take pictures with the property. And they will do that when you don't investigate, like, what kind of photography are we going to use? How's that going to work? Tell me a little bit about what we're going to do. We hire a professional photographer to shoot the inside and the architecturals, and then we'll have an exterior photographer at the same time to give us an advantage over the competition. Those same 2 different people focused on this one thing really gives us an expertise and a different level of photography over just the point and shoot on the wide angle lens, and maybe it's crooked, or maybe you get the tripod in it. Not a week goes by that we don't see photo bombers in MLS. And sometimes they know it, sometimes they don't. I'm sure you've seen some of them out there that have been scandalous in the past. But you don't want to be a scandal. You want to be the one that goes, wow, look at these. Because people go through, and the way they look, they go click, 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 click. They click through and they go, yep, I want to see that one. And they send it to their agent. You want to hit that and be one of the priorities that they want to see. But check into what kind of marketing they're doing. Check into what social platforms they're on and a specialist in. There ought to be expertise in 3 or 4 different platforms, maybe not all of them, but have a strategy. Which one are we going to use? How are we going to optimize? And what they're using to show your house. What else are they doing besides MLS, putting in MLS? What else are we doing to be marketing and different in our showings to give us the advantage over the competition? Check into that marketing, because that can be a key path. Okay, so our 5th and final thing that we're sharing with you, it's way too personalized. Way too many family pictures, way too many things going on in the house and around the house. You just can't figure it all out. And so you've got to depersonalize. Don't make it sterile, but you've got to depersonalize, because you can go through a house, and if they recognize you or really identify too much, it can eliminate you as a consideration. They're like, oh, well, this is Jamie's house. And you're like, oh gosh, it is Jamie's house. Or it's, well, I recognize these people, or I go to church with these people. You want to really do that. Take the down. We actually, in one of our other videos about prepping your house to sell, we recommend everything smaller than a mini football needs to come out of the house. And that's a great rule to go ahead and have. Anything that really is unique and stands out, that would cause your house to, be nicknamed, you don't want that out. We have had some other collections that are notable that, you're like, gosh, if you got an amazing Lego collection, or, something like this, you don't want to be the Lego house. That's what buyers will call it, and they'll be referring to it. So have you anything like that that's really out of the ordinary and a standout? We've had a couple of houses that we've gone in that had over 40 different taxidermied animals throughout the house. And like, it was like a gallery, right? And it was that, but it really, needed to be removed. We were looking at the gallery as a huge distraction over the house, and the buyers didn't buy that house because it was such, an overwhelming distraction. So think about that. Think about any specialty items that can do it. You really want to showcase the features and amenities of the house, the great natural light that it gets, the great flow that it has, the way you can see their emotional things of having and hosting holidays and having friends over, staying in that emotion of what it feels like to be there versus looking at and solving problems of that day-to-day life. If you found any value in this, before we get to our last bonus, my name is Alex, and I'm your friend in real estate in Nashville, Tennessee. And it would be my honor if you would choose to change that subscribe button, help us meet other great people just like you, to help us grow our practice. That's why we're here on YouTube. We love sharing videos like this. Share this to someone that you know that we can help here in Middle Tennessee. And if your next home is not in Middle Tennessee, don't be afraid to reach out to us directly. We can connect you with one of our partners across the country. It's one of the things that we love to do, help match our clients, our friends, and our subscribers to their best match in other markets. So our bonus tip that most sellers miss, and I love sharing this one because it gets overlooked almost every time I walk in and talk to a seller, is positioning in the market. So positioning in the market is absolutely critical. When you're out there and you're thinking about, hey, I want to sell, people only think about them, their price, and that's it. Well, there's a bunch of other things. You've got to look at the current market. You've got to look at where you're going to position. And many times, I would go as far as to say more than half of the time, the market positioning, actually, we recommend increasing the price for our clients and allowing them to know, hey, just so you know, we want you to go ahead and increase it a little bit. It's more than we thought we'd get, but actually, based on the market, we think we ought to position you here for your timeline. And timeline is part of that positioning as well. How much time you have in addition to the money that you want to make, and positioning in the market is absolutely critical to a successful and positive sale without as many conflicts as possible. So make sure when you're pricing and positioning your house in the market, that's a critical piece to being successful. So we hope you found value in this. We know there's something that you probably didn't hear anywhere else. Let us know in the comments below which one was best for you. And again, we love helping and sharing great things like this. Please help us, smash the subscribe button, give us a like, and most importantly, share this with the person you know that we need to know in Middle Tennessee in the next few months ahead that needs to buy or sell here. We'd be honored to earn that trust and that referral with them. And until we connect again, keep on keeping on. We'll see you soon.